Hello and welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. If you are joining us live, please type hashtag live or say hi, type hi. And if you are joining us and watching us on replay, type hashtag replay. We are back again with another exciting episode of Meet the Coach. And like always, I'm always excited to bring my guest and introduce them. And today's guest is also very special. I mean, she works with leaders, entrepreneurs, and executives who really want to feel fearless and authentic about themselves. And if you are also one of those who really want to, eliminate those self-sabotaging beliefs that derails you, I think you want to watch this episode and you want to meet today's guest. And without wasting any more time, let me just add my guest to the stream. Please welcome Miss Nicole Majik. Hey, Nicole, can you hear me?
Hey, Adil, I can hear you just fine. Thank you for having me. This is great.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Doing well. It's always an eventful day. It's
Yeah,
always
I
what we
mean,
make it, right?
exactly. It's all about showing up, and I thank you. I know there's a situation that is going on, and I still appreciate that you still, showed up and you wanted to do this. So thank you so much for that.
You're very welcome. I think it's a fine display of, sometimes life happens and it doesn't have to stop us from doing what we were meant to do and what we want to do. So it's all
Mm.
up here.
Exactly. And I think this is I've been thinking about this week, and I've had this conversation with one of my client and a good friend, that I mean this is what my definition of successful is. I often, when I invite my guests, I do see them as massively successful coaches. And this was the conversation that I was having with my coach friend, and I was like, yes, there are some who I invited and they are already making six figures or seven figures business. But at the same time, for me, this was the discussion I was having, that it's not all about the money or how much money in the bank account. Yes, it's great, it's something that you would want to have, but for me, being massively successful is all about overcoming these challenges that puts us down, and still we show up. So I think that's something, I could really relate to what are the situation that you've gone through today. So yeah, so for me, you are a massively successful coach. And and there is other side to it too that we will definitely be talking about. So without wasting any time, please can you please tell us a bit about yourself, how you got into this, and what helped you reach where you are right now?
Ah, that's a great question. And hopefully everybody's ready for this. I actually was a chemist for 16 years. And while I was a chemist, I had started my own business. And mainly because I had a lot of gifts when I was young. I was growing up. I could see auras, I could sense energies, that kind of thing. So I was very sensitive to other people, their energies, their feelings. And as I moved into my adulthood, it just magnified with a near death experience that I had. So I had started my business really with the intention of helping to empower others. So everything that I've done that was empowering other people, and it just blossomed on its own just from things that I was doing to help others. And people would ask me, could you do this, could you do that, could you do that? And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I can do that too. And then it exploded a little bit, and then I was able to really capture what are the things that I love about this business, and I honed in on that. And even through mercury poisoning when I was a chemist, that's how I got out of chemistry and really started honing in on my business. I did go to become a financial advisor as well. And then, so I came from a six-figure income to another six-figure income. And then as I was building up my business, I came to this point where I had to choose because my business was built up enough and my other business was built in a fashion where I cannot sustain both at the same time. So I chose my passion, and here I am.
Wow, that's awesome. Even I didn't know about. I mean, I've read about the chemistry and biology, but I didn't know about the financial advisor thing. So that's like a surprise for me as well. Yeah, but
It was
but
funny
but
because my dad was shocked because he's a CPA and I was the scientist. So he was like, wait a minute, what?
well, it runs in the family then.
He was the one
That-
who encouraged me to become a financial advisor when I said how I was switching gears. So
Mhm.
after he got over the shock, he was very supportive of that.
Mm. Well, there were two lessons from what you shared that I took out from it. That one, you mentioned that, I mean, even when people were asking you about the energy and the kind of help you were giving them initially, you said you were not sure. Like you said, I mean, you guess that you can help them, but it's like even when there was some uncertainty, but there is this important thing. You took action. You did that, and it's not about perfecting something first and then coming out and offering that. I think it's like you built it, or you perfected it after, I mean, starting it, and you kept exploring. So
Yeah, and
that
it
was
was
one thing. Yeah,
yeah,
please
it
go ahead.
was kind of like I was exploring and discovering more of myself at the same
Hmm.
time because we go through this process and we're always delving deeper and exploring deeper into ourselves and growing more. And as I did things for other people, I realized what is it that I really like to do? Even though I could do all of these different things, I really like to do this group of things. And so I started
Hmm.
just honing in on that and all the business owners out there. That's when you realize who are your ideal clients, who match your
Hmm.
deepest passions and what it is that you love to do the most. And then you attract those. So I think everybody can relate on that level.
Yeah, I think it's like, I mean, while sitting on the fences, you cannot really be sure about what is it. You need to just, I think it's, for me, I always say it's like, let's just dive in, or let's just jump right in it, and then you keep exploring that, and things evolve. So I think that's very true. And the second thing that you mentioned, that, I mean, you kept exploring at the same time that you were in science, and then you explored finance, and when you had an opportunity where you need to make a decision, you took that decision as well. So it's like, it's not about just creating a comfort zone or being in a status quo. You actually chose to keep exploring and keep evolving. So these were the two lessons that I really took out from this.
It was really interesting because when I decided to make that switch and really commit to it, that was the thing. I committed to it wholeheartedly. Right after, moving out, going through a divorce and all these things that were happening all at once, I looked at everything and said, what is the most meaningful thing for me to move forward in my life and my kids? And then
Mm.
when I made that commitment, I had 30 something gigs booked, speaking gigs, some for
Wow.
travel, some for big conventions, things like that. And I left my job on February 7th of 2020. And then a couple weeks later, all of my gigs were canceled because of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah,
And yeah, I
I
wasn't
was about
committed.
to, I was about to come to this, because I mean, you're not somebody who started doing all this during COVID because of certain things that may have happened. You were already doing this, and like you said, that you've had those gigs booked, and based on that, you decided that you want to quit your job and get into this full time. uh, so how did you manage? I mean, how was last year? How did you survive, or was it successful? What was that journey like?
It was really interesting because as soon as I made that commitment, like I said, I had no fear whatsoever. It was crazy because there was a point where I realized no fear. And then I sat there and I said, "Oh my gosh, I don't I don't feel fear with this thing that I usually would be fearful about. Should I be afraid?" And it was more I was sitting down looking over bills and all this stuff and what's coming up because I took on a lot of the debts in the divorce and just all these different things that were happening. And I just remember sitting there going, "Should I be afraid right now? Can I be afraid right now?" And then I said, well, let me try to feel fear. and I couldn't. So then I just started laughing because I knew I was on that right track. And I just said, all right, you want to throw this at me? I can do this. And all these things that I wanted to do, I get to do now because I wanted to take more of my things online. All of my, or I should say, almost everything that I was doing was in person. So it was a big change and I retracted. So sometimes we have to stop in order to move forward. Stop and pause and analyze. So I did that for myself and where I was. What did I need to do for me first and my business? And me, I mean me and my kids and my, health and well-being and everything. And then I pivoted into, okay, this is what I need to do for me. And because I had moved into a new place and didn't really have time to settle, I just said, I'm going to step back and I'm going to get my house in order fully. And then I'm going to focus on my business and rolling these things out that I really have wanted to do. And I'm going to switch this thing that was supposed to be a 3-day in-person intensive into a 12-week mastermind, which I did.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah. And while you were saying this, I mean, I always kind of have this picture to describe the situation. It's like, I mean, when you are about to make that high jump, you always need to go a few step back, and you do a run up, and then you like run and you make a jump. So it's like, I mean, like you just said, you need to stop or make a pause, or even I see setbacks or difficulties, like, I mean, one after another, that you keep seeing such sort of things, then it's more like, I mean, it's like it's preparing you to take two step back and then run full throttle and then make the jump. So I think that's what you did.
Absolutely. And it's been so much fun. It really has. My life, I love every part of my life, even those pitfalls, those adversities. When you can start to look at those adversities as not something negative happening to you, that it's actually a positive thing that's happening for you,
Yeah,
it completely changes your world.
that's so true. That's so true, and that's really powerful. Thank you so much for sharing this. And let me just let's just take two step forward. And where are you now? How things are now? I believe you have few things coming up as well. So can you just share a bit about that as well?
Sure. Things are really great. I have some new things that are rolling out. I do show people how to annihilate self-sabotage. So I do have a mini course in that. I go over my 3-step AIR process, which I go through what those mean and show you, and it's free. So it's a free little course that you can sign up for,
Wow,
register. Yeah.
so it's a
Everybody
free
loves
course.
free, right? And
Yeah.
dip your toe in, right? To see if it's good for you and if it resonates with you. So I have that coming up June 1 to 3.
So it's a
And people
3 day
can,
course.
it's a 3-day course. It's through mainly email, and it's a video course that you will receive and then be able to give me feedback and all of that. You will be able to communicate with me and just show you how to start, because a lot of people, they just don't know where to begin.
Yeah. So can you just share? I mean, who this is for? I mean, who really needs this? I mean, somebody who that person is, if they are watching this, and what's the situation they are in, and they should watch. I mean, this. Can you just share a bit about that?
Sure. Anyone who's feeling that something negative is happening to them, they get frustrated, they feel like they're in the same little loop over and over again. If you feel scarcity of finances, love, just scarcity of time. A lot of my clients, they're always saying, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. Well, I show you how to get that time back. And it's super easy once you know the process. And people are coming back. My clients are saying to me in the mastermind, where I've got one mastermind that's in week 8 right now, and they're coming to me saying, you know, I was kind of raising an eyeball over the like an eyebrow over this, saying, do I really want to do this segment right here? And I kept telling them, you do this and your mind will be blown. And I keep getting I did it and I can't even believe how much time I have. Everything makes so much sense and I love my schedule.
Yeah, and I really want to thank you. I mean, there are so many amazing golden nuggets in everything that you're sharing. I mean, you just mentioned one thing, that it's very important that you, when you work with them, it's about building those process, because at times, yes, these clients, when they think about they don't have time, they say we can hire a VA, or we can hire somebody to do this for us, but it doesn't work. I mean, at times it wastes more of their time. I mean, they're trying to explain things and try to train people if they don't have any process involved. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you did mention that, and I believe there are those things that you cover in that before your clients should seek such sort of help where they get VAs on board and things like that.
Yes, they get to see how I process what they're saying to me, and I show them through a mind map that I create for them. And it's really interesting because they get to see how that one thing actually ripples through their entire life. And when they see it visually, they say, "Oh my goodness." And when I show it to them and I say, "Are you ready to get rid of this right now?" It's always a yes, because, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that one thing was holding me back, not in this one area that I thought, but all of these others. And that's
That's
what I
so
help
true.
people do, is really harness their true potential.
Yeah, awesome. So let me just quickly recap this program. This is a mini course called Three-Step Air Process, and this is happening on June 1st till 3rd. So there will be a series of emails that you will be sending out to those who will register for that. And to those who want to register, there is this link that I am sharing it over here, but I'll request Nicole, can you if to please share this on the thread where we are having this conversation. We are streaming
Sure.
this live on Facebook. We can do that after our interview. So I'll tag you there, and the best. Let's say, I mean, Nicole is leaving you guys with no excuse. She's offering this for free. So I think this is something you must try and do it. So it's June 1st till 3rd, and you'll be getting a series of videos, and go and experience this. And Nicole is among those who's always accessible and trying to add so much value. So I would really request Nicole that if on this chat, if you can also share how people can reach out to you. I mean, if they need some help, so do share that in the thread as well.
Okay.
And any parting thoughts?
Well, if you feel like your life is suffocating you, then you need a breath of fresh air.
And I'm sure you are one of those who can provide that. So yeah, so do join,
Yeah.
do connect with Nicole, and I think this course is an excellent opportunity to experience how working with her would be. Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you so much for your time. I really
Thank
appreciate
you,
that. I
Adil.
really enjoyed our conversation, but I know you have a situation going on. Otherwise, I would love to have continued this conversation.
Thank you so much, Adil. I appreciate all of your time and all of you guys watching. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. And those who are watching this on replay, please, you have all the details, and on thread you can find the details and the link to register for this course. And next week we'll be back again with another amazing coach in this Meet the Coach series. Till then, have fun, take care, bye bye.
Bye.